This will be HeartNC training tutorial, transferring your DXF file to the wire machine. And this will be the same procedure for the LN controls or the SPW controls. Right now I have my USB drive plugged in. This is the SODIC USB. On my computer it's drive G. When you plug in the SODIC USB, there's a bunch of folders. The folder where we need to push the file into is this UTY file. So when you're in your CAD/CAM software, you're going to have a drawing file similar to what I have on the screen here with a title block and dimension lines, zeros in the wrong spot. So you may want to consider, before you create the wire toolpath or DXF file for the wire, is to just get rid of everything you don't really need for the wire machine. You can do these steps in the HeartNC software if you don't want to do it in your CAD. You might find it more convenient to use your CAD software to just delete out what you don't need. So I'm just going to do an example here. So here's like I've got minimized all the dimension lines I kind of don't really need. Let's grab a couple more here and so forth. So delete out what you don't need. And in your software, you probably have a way to move the program 0. The program 0 could be the corner of the block or something like that. Or maybe it's one of these holes is already in the block and you want to pick up on that. So consider doing that step in your offline software. I've got 0, 0 placed right here now. So let me zoom up on that. So it's at the corner of that block instead of being off in space. I've got it at that corner of this workpiece. If I was going to cut this out, maybe that's what I want to do, the corner pickup for the wire machine. So anyway, once you have your file configured the way you want, you just create your DXF file, and in this software you go File, Save As. Some other software you might have File Export or something like that, but here it's Save As. In the pull down you can select it to be a DXF file. And now the naming. We're going to change the name. This has got some long file name. HeartNC will not allow you to put in a long file name. 8 digits max. Let's simplify that. Just go with test 1. And we're going to go on our USB drive and we're going to go to UTY folder. Oops. UTY folder. So test 1, DXF. Now, in the options on here, we have a way to set the version level of our DXF file. So you want to make sure and use a version file. Go down in the versions. You don't want to use too new of a version. It won't open on HeartNC. So set your, if you have an options button, maybe there's a parameters button down here, do that, set an older version, and say save. So that'll save it onto your USB stick. So let's minimize this page here. So now if we look at our USB stick, we have our test 1, and that's the one we just made right now, and some other ones I've got. So that's inside the UTY file folder on the USB drive. Next step is to bring it out to the machine. And I'm going to show you this step through some pictures. You're going to come up to the machine, and the machine's going to be maybe on this first page, manual, codeless, coordinate set. That's the first page the machine boots up to. Okay, so maybe it's at that page. When you stick the USB in, you're going to give it a minute, and it's going to say EXT memory is going to pop up here in the top. Let me close this picture. See, it says EXT memory, so it takes it a moment. Wait for that to pop up there. Now it's read the USB and it's ready to go. Next step is to press this UTY and File button. And then you will have this, looks like a Windows Explorer type screen. Click on External Memory here, and then your titles that you just saved will show up on this right-hand side of the screen. Once you have you see your title, grab it and drag it into HeartNC. So this picture right here is from the LN control, your VL machines, your VZ machines, and older machines look like this. Let me show you the AL machine. The screen is similar, just a little bit different from the AL machines. Here we go. So let me zoom it a little bit because it's got a little bit more stuff on it on the right here, or left. We don't need that. So notice it's the icon is a little different. It says IntelliQ 3VIC instead of HeartNC. So what you would do is do the same thing. You go IQ button and then File, and then you click on your external memory, and there's your files. Click on your file name, and then drag it into IntelliQ. You can window more than one and drag it in there. That's fine. You'll copy them all into that. So your first step to being able to program on the machine is you got to transfer that file with this IQ file button or that other, the LN control UTY file button, and drag them into there. Now, if you're on the network, then you're going to not use the USB. You're going to click on your SecaNet, and then this is going to be a list of your computers. Maybe you only have one computer listed here. This would be your office computer or maybe a folder on the server. You would click on that, and then the titles will show up in here. This is going to be the shared folder on that computer name here. The shared folder is going to be called 3D Data in your system. And then this machine, the software, the SODIC machine will display just the contents of that folder and any folder below 3D Data. So you could hit this plus sign and you could have folders below 3D Data. Anyway, once you open the proper folder, you can click your file name, drag it into HeartNC, or if it's the SPW control, drag it and click it into that other icon that says IntelliQ. All right, so once we have the file into the machine, that's the first step. Now we want to probably open the file, and it's going to be a little bit different. Let me get this going here. We'll open the HeartNC. I'm using the desktop version, so I get a question here, metric or inch. This is going to follow your machine tool. How you're not going to get this question at the machine because you have the machine in a certain mode. Okay, you hit the HeartNC button at the bottom right in your control, you're going to get this window now. Now that we've transferred the file, we can open it with this file button over here on the left. You can hit that and you've got an open button. So once you move your DXF files into the machine, you can hit that file open. And now this screen here, because I'm on the desktop version, doesn't actually match your machine, but it's kind of the same idea. You're going to have your files here that you can click on and open. So let me just close this out and show you what your screen will look like at the machine. This one here. Okay. So when you click and go into HeartNC here on the right, you know, IQ, HeartNC, then you're going to click this file button on the left, and up comes this, you know, file open actually, and up comes this page. See, it shows you this directory tree, My Machine, and disk. Well, that's actually the hard drive disk that we pushed the file into, that HeartNC folder icon that we pushed it into, or the IntelliQ icon, remember that? Well, that's this folder. So all your file names will be shown here. So you're going to look for your file. You can sort by date. If it was just done today, you can double click on date and they'll be sorted top to bottom. The newest date would be at the top. So in HeartNC, we can only open DXF files. The ASC is its native format. That's what you create in the HeartNC before you post it out, is this ASC file. So find your file name .dxf, and then you click open and the file will open. So let me just show you that real quick. Let me go back into my desktop HeartNC, file open. I've got to set it to DXF, and I can just pick one of my DXF files, boom, and it opens. So that's how you would transfer the file into HeartNC, whether you have the LN control, LN2W control, or the SPW control, kind of the same steps. We'll continue on with how to program the part in the next video.